Alright guys, bunch of new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. One of the ones that I'm sad about is the brand new dinosaurs. I don't know if this is new ninja support, and on top of that, we got more support coming out for the Labyrinth archetype, which, you know, I still see once in a while. It's just kind of a popular archetype. It doesn't tend to do super well as far as I'm aware of, but hey, more support means they might do well pretty soon. So let's check it out. So starting off, these are all coming out mostly in Age of Overlord. So starting out, we have Arias the Labyrinth Butler. So it's a level 6 Dark Fiend effect monster, 1500 attack, 25 defense points. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is during the main phase. As a quick effect, you send it from your hand or your field to the graveyard from your hand. Either special summon a Labyrinth monster or set a normal trap, and it can be activated this turn. Wow, and that's a quick effect. That actually makes the deck super good. It's basically like a quick effect, a hand trap that actually is a trap that you can activate. That's cool. Second part is when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to activation of a Labyrinth card or effect, except for Arias the Labyrinth Butler, or normal trap card or effect, and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Alright, next up though, this is actually pretty cool. This is actually a card I probably should have started off with the name. I mean, the artwork is so cool, I'm probably going to put it in thumbnail. This is Dark Hole Dragon. So again, Age of Overlord coming out in here. So it's a Dark Dragon effect, level 8, 3000 attack, 2000 defense points, and it says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is if a monsters is on the field is destroyed by a card effect that did not target, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or hand even if not. Second part is if this card is special summoned, you get to add one Dark Hole from your deck to your hand during the end phase of this turn, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's a very interesting effect, considering one, Dark Hole is just simply not super viable or popular. The fact that you have to add it from your deck, that means you have to have it in the deck, obviously, which some people might not care too much about, because it's like, well, you just get to search it. Well, the thing is that unless you have certain things to recycle, that means, are you going to be playing triple? Is Dark Hole a triple? I gotta double check. I'm pretty sure at this point, like, Dark Hole is at 3, right? In both formats, right? In the OCG, it's still at 3. Okay. And then also we have like, people don't even play Raigeki, and the OCG is at 2 for whatever reason. Heck, we can run 3 Raigekis in the TCG, which arguably is usually better than Dark Hole. But it's just if a monster on the field was destroyed by a card effect that did not target it. So that means you could, like, torrential yourself or any other effect that would pop everything. You get to just bring this card out. And it has, like, decent stats. It also is level 8, so maybe people will do something with trade-in. There might be some sort of crazy thing that people can do. Because it has the ability to add a Dark Hole, that you can maybe start trying to do something the following turn for some sort of, like, you know, combos that would linger. But the problem is during the end phase. If you were able to just keep on adding a Dark Hole infinitely, where it would just be able to add it from the hand, or like or as a hand, deck, or graveyard for the effect of, well, you just add it from the, I guess I should say, deck. If it was deck, banish zone, and in the graveyard, then, and if it didn't have this limitation of once per turn, then we could actually see some really sick problematic loops. So they kind of nerfed it, but nonetheless, Dark Hole Dragon, very cool artwork. So this is the next card that we're going to be taking a look at. So this is SP Little Knight. I'm not sure what SP is. This is a brand new archetype. Anyways, it's a Link 2 Dark Warrior Link effect monster, 1600 attack, and the link zones are on the left and the right. And its materials are 2 effect monsters, so it is generic. And it says that you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is, if it's Link summoned using a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and or Link monster as material, you can target one card in the field or in the graveyard and banish it. Okay, that's a pretty solid effect overall, considering the summon condition is just 2 effect monsters. Also, your opponent's monster cannot attack directly this turn. Okay. Second part is, when your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including at least 1 monster you control, and banish them both until the end phase. I mean, it comes out, it's getting rid of something. And on top of that, this card is great. I think this is a fantastic card. Yeah, generally, like a really solid card overall. Will definitely be short print, secret rare, confirmed TCG. Alright, next up, we have the birth of Tistina. I guess this is coming out in Dune. So this is, maybe this is exclusive over here. Anyways, so we have some lore. I'm not really interested in lore. I'm here for the effects. So Sentinel of the Tistina. So this is a level 3 Wind Aqua effect monster, 1200 attack, 14 defense points. It says, this card's in your hand or graveyard, and you control a light Tistina monster, you can special summon this card. The second part says you can target 1 Tistina or 1 face down card you control, destroy it, then add a Tistina card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Sentinel of Tistina once per turn. Okay, so this has some potential over here. Destroying your own face down cards could actually be pretty good for certain effects archetypes. I don't know. I think crawlers are gonna flip. I don't know. But the downside is obviously it won't be flipping. But if it has some sort of bonus effect when it's destroyed while it's face down, that's kind of like a rare thing in Yu-Gi-Oh to actually be able to trigger it on yourself. So this has some potential. Let me know, guys, what combos would work with the Sentinel of Tisana. Next up, though, we have Hound of the Tisana, which is a level 4 Earth Aqua effect monster, 18 attack, 700 defense points, and it says if this card's in your hand or graveyard and you control a light Tisana monster, you can spell summon this card. It says you can only use the effect of Hound of the Tisana once per turn. Tisana monsters you control can attack directly while your opponent controls a face down defense position monster. So there's a card that Book Moons everything, so maybe you can attack directly. And they don't have like terrible stats, 1800. Let's check out the rest of them. Okay, this is their boss monster. This is level 10. This is probably their boss. Demigod of the Tisana. I mean, the name sounds like it should be a boss. 2000 attack, 0 defense. It says if you control a Tisana card, you can spell summon this card from your hand. Then you get to add 1 Tisana spell / trap from your deck to your hand. Oh, that's a really easy summon condition. Then during your opponent's turn, if you control a Crystal God Tisana as a quick effect, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Then you can send all face up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. Wow. And then you can only use each effect of Demigod Tisana. So you get to move everything and then all of them attack, right? All the Tisana monsters can attack directly. Okay, so this is basically maybe an OTK oriented deck. And then we have Crystal God. So let's see what the Crystal God does. Is that a secret? It looks like at least for the picture, the text looks like it's maybe rare, but the picture kind of looks like it's secret rare. Anyways, let's go over the effect. Crystal God Tisana is a level 10 light aqua effect monster, 2000 attack, 3000 defense points. It says during your main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position. Then you can send all face up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. If this card is in its owner's possession and is destroyed by opponent's card, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Then you get to send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of it once per turn. Wow, that's actually pretty good, considering you activate this effect, and then if it goes away, they're getting Book of Moon anyways. So that's actually pretty interesting. Unless they they negate this and the other effect. I think this is looking like it has some more potential here, because I was just saying, they're just going to negate and destroy the card if you try to activate the effect to flip everything face down, right? There's no reason why they wouldn't, but considering, well, if they negate and destroy, oh, they're getting face down anyways. Next up, though, we have Divine Domain Tisana. So this is a field spell card that says during main phase, you get to send a Tisana monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if your opponent controls 3 or more face-up cards, you can spell summon 1 Crystal God Tisana from your hand or deck. Jeez, that is actually pretty insane for going second. Just any face-up card. You could even maybe give your opponent some card. Give them a Lava Golem. And then it says you can only use this effect of Divine Domain Tisana once per turn. If this card is in your field zone, it is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you special summon 1 Tisana monster from your deck or graveyard. Wow, this archetype is actually looking pretty solid. Next up, we have the Breath of the Tisana, which is a continuous spell card that says, during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Tisana monster in addition to your normal summon / set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Second part says you can target 1 face-up monster you control, or if you control a light Tisana monster, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. Instead, change that monster to face down defense percent, then add 1 Tisana card from your deck to your hand, except for Breath of Tisana. You can only use this effect of Breath of Tisana once per turn. Next up, we have the Signs of the Tisana. So this is a continuous trap card that says, activate this card by targeting a face-up monster on the field. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Aqua Light, level 10, 0/0 with the following effect. This is also still a trap. During your opponent's turn, when that target leaves... Okay, so this is my bad. So during your opponent's turn, when that target leaves the field, destroy this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card leaves the field, destroy that target. Okay, so you have to target a face-up monster in the field, and then you get to special summon it, which I guess could include your own. Interesting. Okay. Next up, though, we have... This is what I'm actually excited for, the Duelist Nexus cards. This is the new dinosaur, because it's a level 2 Earth dinosaur effect monster, 500 attack, 400 defense points. It says, while you control another dinosaur monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. You can target 1 other card you control, destroy it. You can only use the effect of Zarius once per turn. Okay, so it's actually pretty good. So the first part of the effect, I'm like, okay, whatever. I literally don't care about it. But the fact that it is a level 2, and it is also an Earth, so you can maybe go into other things. Yeah, it could be opening up the doors for other targets. We have the Archosaurus to, instantly get the pop, but another card you control. I wish it was in you control or in your hand. Then this card would actually be pretty solid. Or if it was level 1, that would make it a little bit better too, just so you have like the single like target with it. Or if it could change its levels, that'd be cool too. Anyways, so next up we have the Fenesteri Tower of the Necro World. So this is a level 10 water zombie. Oh, there's new zombie support. So 1000 attack, 28 defense. If you control a level 10 monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Fenesteri Tower of the Necro World once per turn this way. It says if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card on the field. That card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. You can only use the effect of Fenesteri the Tower of the Necro World once per turn. Okay, that's kind of mediocre though. Next up we have Q Belt the Blade Dragon. It's a level 7 Dark Dragon Synchro Effect monster, 2500 attack, 19 defense points. Its materials are 1 tuner plus 1 plus non-tuner monsters. And it says if this card is synchro summoned, you get to target one card on the field, destroy it. If this card is on the field, it is destroyed, you get to target one face-up monster on the field. That monster cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use each effect of Q Belt the Blade Dragon once per turn this way. Next up, we have Storage Pod. Storage Pod is a level 6 Dark Machine Fusion Effect monster, 25/25. Its materials are Trifortress Drops or 1 Stego Cyber and a Machine or Dinosaur monster. It says it cannot be destroyed by battle while a monster special summoned from the graveyard is on the field. If a monster is special summoned from the hand while this monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you get to target one card you control, one card your opponent controls, destroy them, and you can only use each effect of it once per turn. Okay, so it's kind of like normal with the whole dinosaur, destroy popping. Next up, we have Synchro Force Back, which is a normal trap card that says target monsters on the field up to the number of synchro monsters with different names you control. Return them to the hand. You can only activate one Synchro Force Back per turn. If this was like somehow like a counter trap card or something, I think it'd be better because like if you already had like 3 or 4 synchro monsters, I'm sure you've probably won the game, right? So it's like whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like a better compulse if you have the conditions. Next up, though, we have Synchro Rumble. So there's more synchro support. So a normal spell card that says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. So the first part says target one tuner or one level 7 or 8 dragon synchro monster in your graveyard to special summon in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the extra deck for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, except for synchro monsters. Second part is if a Crimson Dragon and or level 7 or 8 dragon synchro monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Okay, so really easy stepping stone to make some more things, and then you have some extra protection with the other effect. Oh, we got more. Whoa, how many more synchro cards do we got? We have TGs? Dude, I used to play the TG stun deck back in the day. Okay, so let's see what this has got for us. So starting right off, we got the TG Rocket Salamander. Let's zoom in up on these pictures over here. So 600 looks like that is the stats. It says you can only use the first and second of its card's name once per turn. So the first part is true to TG monster, supposed to one TG monster with a different original name from your deck. Second part is if you control a machine TG monster, you get to target one level 4 or lower TG monster graveyard special summon in defense position, but its effects are negated. Second one is a synchro monster called the TG Mighty Striker. It's going to be level 2, looks like it's an Earth, 1800, and these are all coming out in a GOV because the other ones were Duelist Nexus. So anyways, it's generic 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. It says you can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is if this card is synchro summon, you get to add 1 TG spell / trap from your deck to your hand. Second part is once per opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you get to immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using monsters you control as material, including this card. And then the third part is if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you get to send a TG card from your deck to the graveyard. Next up, though, we have TG Overdragner, which is a level 5 Dark Dragon Synchro Effect monster, and it's got 2100 attack and 1900 defense points. And its effect says, and is also a generic one. So you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is if this card is synchro summon, you can special summon any number of TG monsters from your graveyard in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for TG monsters. And if this card on the field is destroyed, you get to draw 1 card. I mean, any number of TGs. Obviously, you're going to use TGs more likely to bring this out. This card has some broken potential, honestly. This card is crazy good. I mean, it's just any number of TGs. Obviously, you have to cycle, but there's stuff that dumps them. So, okay, next up we have the Glaive Blaster. So this is one of their super boss monsters. 4,000, a new synchro boss coming out. So its materials are 1 tuner synchro and 2+ non-tuner synchro monsters. So it must be synchro summon. As a quick effect, you can target 1 monster, special summon from the extract, banish it. You can use this effect a number of times per turn up to the number of non-tuner synchro monsters used as synchro material for this card. Second part is once per turn, if a monster becomes banished face up, you can target one of them and special summon it to your field, ignoring its summoning conditions. Wow, that has some potential. it's a once per turn, but like just being able to maybe get rid of something and then you just go for OTK. I mean, that's what it's got written all over it. Next up, that we have the TG Break Limiter. So it's a normal spell card that says you can only use the first and you can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name per turn, only once that turn. So the first part is to discard one card, add 2 TG monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. So you're already able to dump and then that's already 3 monsters right there. And next up though, yeah, you can banish the card from your graveyard, target 1 TG monster in your graveyard, shuffle into the deck, and if you control a machine TG monster, you get to add it to your hand instead. Okay, so this is pretty solid overall. Next up, we have the All Clear TG. Which is a continuous spell card that says you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is TG monsters on the field become machine monsters. Okay, so what is that? Limiter removal, man. Second part is during your main phase, you get normal summon 1 TG monster in addition to a normal summon. That's solid. You can only get this effect once per turn. Second part is during your main phase, you can destroy TG monster in your hand or field if you do add 1 TG monster with a different name from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Solid. Next up, we have TG Close. So this is a counter trap card that says you can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. The first part says when your opponent activates a spell/trap or a monster effect and you control a machine TG monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. Second part is if a synchro monster becomes banished while this card is in your graveyard, you get to set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, so TG is getting a lot of support over here. What is next over here? We have the XYZ armored cards. Is that like the water stuff? I never really, it was like Crystal Lancer and stuff. All right, so first off, we got AzneyesWhitedragon Armor Torpedo. So there's is the artwork, 2500 attack, 800 defense points, and it is going to be a rank 3 water warrior. So materials are 2 level 3, so it is a generic. It says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So it cannot attack unless it has material. Second part is you can detach 2 materials from this card to draw 1 card. Wow, that is pretty solid. Actually, people will definitely be using this in every deck. Like, no question about that. Turn 1, everyone that can make, rank 3s is going to make this card. Second, or the third part is, while this card is equipped to a monster, apply these effects. If the equipped monster battles until the end of the damage step, your opponent can activate cards or effects. Also, for the effects of all face-up monsters they control. Wait, what? They can't activate also the effects of all face-up monsters they control. Ooh. But that's only if the equipped monster battles. I mean, yeah, I think it's a little too conditional, but like just the draw is already pretty solid. The other part is if the equipped monster is exceed monster, your opponent cannot target it with card effect. I think people will definitely use it just for the draw of like different stepping stones. Just make this draw an extra card. Next up, we have the Armor Fortress, which is a rank 5 water machine effect monster. So 25, 18, and its materials are 2 level 5 monsters. So that is the stats on it. And it says once per turn, you can also exceed summon Armor Fortress by using a rank 3 or 4 monster you control transfer its materials to this card. This card with material cannot be used as material for an exceed summon. So once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card, add the same number of armor exceeds cards with different names from your deck to your hand. The other part is any battle damage your opponent takes from battles involving a monster equipped with this card is doubled. Okay. Next up, this is probably their boss monster. The full armored Dark Lancer here is the artwork. 28 and 15 are the stats. It's probably going to be another water, and it is going to be generics, but it requires 3 level 7s, but you're just going to use, you're just going to slap monsters on top of them. Anyways, so it gains 300 attack for each material attached to it and each card equipped to it. Second part is once per turn, you target exceed monster in your exceed card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Third part is once per turn, if a monster you control becomes equipped with an equipped card, you can attach 1 monster your opponent controls. So okay, that's pretty solid. Just snatch stealing cards as material. Then we have Entrust, which is a normal spell card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Add 1 armored exceeds card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then you can make the levels of up to 2 face-up monsters you control become level 3 or 5 until the end of the turn. Really easy. Second part is if this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it and target 1 exceeds monster card and treat it as an equipped card in your spell and trap zone and special summon it. Oh, that could be interesting as well. Next up, we have Fold Armor Exceeds, which is a trap card, and its effect reads: if an Exceeds monster is on the field, immediately after this effect resolves, Exceeds summon 1 Exceeds monster. Second part is you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Exceeds monster you control, equip 1 other Exceeds monster from your face-up field or graveyard as an equipped spell with these effects. So the equipped monster gains attack equal to this card's. if the equip monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, then you can destroy this card instead. Okay, honestly, with all of these, like, you know, equipping and stuff like that, I mean, realistically, I think it's going to be a little bit too hard for a lot of people. I think people will just use this as a stepping stone to get the draw the card, and that's pretty much all the new Exceed Armor cards are going to actually have for it. But anyways, I'm curious to know what you guys think of the brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards down below. But man, there was a lot to cover in this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe to the bell so you don't miss out when we cover more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the future in a GOV. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.